Okay, let's put this into the slideshow. This is grammar notes that are on pages 238 and 240. We're going to be doing this little by little because the passive voice is very difficult for people. Okay, and now we're looking at point number 1. Okay, a sentence in the passive voice has a corresponding sentence in the active voice. One way to think about this is that every English verb has a voice. When you think about verb tenses, English has a lot of different verb tenses, and in every sentence in English, the verb is in a tense. It has a tense. It's either past, or it's present, or it's present perfect, or it's future. The verb in the sentence has a tense. Also, in every English sentence, the verb has a voice. And while there are many tenses in English, there are really only two voices, the passive and the active. And most of the time we use the active voice, but sometimes we use the passive voice. Okay, basically what happens in the passive voice is that the object of a verb moves to subject position and becomes the subject of the verb. Okay, here's another example. Someone took the money is the object, and I can move it to the subject position to make a passive sentence. The money was taken by someone, but it's not important to say by someone. I know that without saying it. That's why it's in parentheses here. Okay, be very careful. Only transitive verbs, those followed by an object, can be passive, because in order to make a passive sentence, you have to move the object to subject position. You need to have an object. Okay? An intransitive verb cannot be passive. So I can say, no one has seen Cooper since 1972. And I move Cooper to subject position. Okay? And Cooper has not been seen since 1972. So the object became the subject in the passive sentence. I'm going to now think about another. I'm going to think about another example with an intransitive verb so you can see why it cannot be passive. Die is an intransitive verb. It never has an object. Okay, so I'm going to say, many people think Cooper must have died. There's no object there, right? The object isn't there, so I'm taking all this away. Okay, that's an intransitive verb. There's no object. So I can't do any of this. I can't make a passive. When the verb is intransitive, it's not possible to have a passive sentence that means the same thing. And in this case, I'm going to put 2 stars here because it's a mistake a lot of students make. They want to say, Cooper was died. And this is never possible. I can never say that. Because died is intransitive, you're not going to make any kind of passive sentence out of that. Okay? Now it's correct. Cooper died.